Hello and welcome to the Psychic Medium Mindie Adamos podcast show. I'm your co-host, Lana Simmons.
And I'm Psychic Medium Mindie Adamos.
So today, Mindie, first of all, I'd have to say that I'm super excited that you agreed to do this podcast with me and just talk about all these love and sparkles and cosmic awesomeness. So I'm really happy that we're doing this because we have a lot of cool topics today.
Thank you. I'm excited too.
So I'd like to start off with numerology. So I think in the beginning of each of your podcasts, our goal is to kind of touch on a subject for those of you that are starting to open up to your intuitive abilities or are just wanting to learn more about just kind of the basics. So Mindy and I really wanted to talk a little bit about numerology and what that looks like. And numerology, I'm just going to read a quick definition here. It's the study of numbers and what those numbers mean in your life. They reflect certain aptitudes and character tendencies as an integral part of the cosmic plan. Each letter has a numeric value that provides a related cosmic vibration. Now, when I read that shit, I was like, I did not. I was like, whatever. I really did. And then I saw the lady Glennis. Oh, God, she is the numerology lady. Glennis has your number. She's the numbers lady. And I saw her on TV a while ago, and I thought what she had to say was really interesting about certain numbers reoccurring in your life and what those mean. But, yeah, so I guess I'd like to really get your take on numerology, Mindy.
Gosh, thank you. I have come into the numbers by way of opening my awareness and gifts and all of that, but I, like many, started with numbers very young, having a lucky number. That number that you're like, ooh, that's my lucky number. Playing bingo growing up, I knew if I were going to get a blackout on bingo with my lucky number 11, 7, or 21, I knew I was going to win the jackpot, and that happened. So I think for numbers, it was kind of the basics, your baseball number, your volleyball number, your favorite crush, their number. So that's where it all started. But even in my adulthood, numbers, they're still prominent. 7, 11, 21 are still my numbers. 11 will always be my favorite. My mom's is 56. I know that. I've known that since I was a little girl. But for me, numerology, when I'm opening up to what it has to offer, it has completely changed how I view the world and the support of spirit. Mm-hmm. Completely. Because I get communication via numbers that's probably more constant than even me talking to spirit on the other side of the veil, meaning instant communication. I know what they're trying to say, and I know they're trying to get my attention. So for me, numbers are, and I know numbers are assigned to letters. Numbers are assigned to your astrology charts and when you were born, and everything is like this. God, and I like to keep things simple, Luana, but it's almost like the numerics could get so profound and you could get so caught up in all of the bigness of it that you can predict things. I mean, I've got a dear friend, Donna, who does numerology, and just in her couple of messages around my birth date, for example, she knew so much. I had an astrologer, do a full chart, spot on, but a lot of it was the numerics in it. I had a Chinese astrologer do a lot of readings with my numbers. So, meaning like times you were born, date of birth, all of that. So for me, it's changed my life.
Well, now, one of the questions that when I first started looking into numbers, I saw, and this was, God, Mindy, a while ago, over a year ago, you had posted something about 1111, and you had even recently posted 1111 in a group where you had saw a question like, what does this mean? And I was wondering if maybe you could kind of go into that, because that's one of the big numbers is 1111.
It is, and I just got goosey. So for anybody who's opening up, when you get goosebumps or chicken skin or call it what you want, that tickling on the back of your neck, you know that's like cosmic awesomeness. That's what's happening. So 1111 is is pretty much been deemed the awakening code. Okay, again, keep it simple. Awakening means you are connecting really to a higher self, or to the cosmos, to the universe, to the angels. You're opening up, basically. And it's often common that folks will start seeing repeated 11, 11, 11, or even just ones when their soul journey is ready to tap into that awesomeness, that new higher vibration and world that humans don't typically open up to until their soul is really ready.
Yeah. Now, you even have a story of, so this isn't just for people that are like woo-woo and all in the psychic stuff and, you know, out there they've changed their name to Rainbow Star. This isn't just for those type of people. That's
right. This is every human.
Yes. Yes. So, do you have any examples of people maybe using numerology as a way to communicate to God or spirit or the universe?
Yeah, I will give a couple of common examples, and I have a pretty profound one even from this morning. So I just posted on Facebook, you know, here's a link. I always use, this was a link gifted to my sister and I, who's also a psychic intuitive healer. It's called Joanne's Sacred Scribes, and we can link that for everybody. But the examples are so profound. So, for example, some of my clients, they know that a loved one shows them a repeated number. So, like my readings yesterday, a client kept having the number 7 come up in her reading from her father, who had passed by taking his own life, and that was her birth month, July. And he kept getting messages of 7, and he said, when she sees the 7s, know that it's me. So that's one example of specific interactions with loved ones from the other side of the veil. Another amazing example, besides all the woo-woo and the unicorns and sparkles, the humans that are just like me and you, regardless of what we're doing professionally, your angels are trying to communicate specific guidance for you at the moment. So that may be you're going in for a job interview and you see a license plate on the way to work. That is 333, which is the Ascended Masters are with you. It may be that you see your grandmother's death date over and over and over again, 13, 13, 18, 18, you know. So there can be those types of communications. But let me tell you about a really cool example from a gentleman. He told me this morning that my, you know, post about the numbers was quite timely because he didn't really know what they had meant. And he's going through some big changes to really better himself and take self-love as a priority so he's the best he can be for everyone else. And he had wanted to give up at times in his new regimen and in his new kind of way of being. And he said, I kept seeing 111, 222, 2222, and 4 3s repeating and 4 1s repeating. He said he'd see them in the car, on his clock, on his computer at work. And he said that actually gave him hope to continue on in his journey. So it's so profound that even when you don't know why you're getting these numbers, you can't help but notice that they're repeating in your life. So, I mean, it's almost like he didn't really know, but he knew. And that's the whole higher self. You know, your soul knows the love and the messages and the connection. So I just thought that was really neat. But there are, you know, I guess maybe I'll list a couple of examples, but it's not just license plates and clocks and times, or if you wake up at the same time every day.
Oh, or at night.
The birth.
At night, Mindy, because, okay, so I'm a scaredy cat. Like, I'm a scaredy cat. I have to have a nightlight. Totally a scaredy cat. So I would wake up at it's either 3 a.m. or it was like 3:36 every morning. And scared, like, why am I up? Or, because, like, ghosts and shit scare me. It scares, I know I shouldn't be scared, but I'm scared. And when I started looking into the whole numerology, and I looked up the number 336 on the number chart that we'll post, it actually brought a little bit of comfort, and I actually went to bed faster. I went back to sleep faster because I wasn't scared. So even if you don't believe in this stuff, maybe it can still kind of bring a sense of comfort so that you're not, if you're like me and a scaredy cat, you can go back to sleep faster.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very common, Lana. I mean, pretty much every other client I work with or talk to or people I mentor or just friends and family, that waking up between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. with repeated times or like,
yes.
it can be frightening because you're not just waking up, you're probably also feeling, energies closer to the other side of the veil, meaning spirits and angels and loved ones. But yeah, I mean, fear is going to kick in for the unknown no matter what stage you're in life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look it up, I found that when you look it up in the moment, it brings an immediate peace and kind of calm, like you said. And then it's almost like, okay, now we're going to move on to another number. So you're still going to get repeated numbers, but like 336 is so specific. I had to pull it up because it says your archangels and ascended masters are helping you. Give any fears or concerns to them, and they're going to help you. And there's a lot of very specific things in there, and positive affirmations regarding the things you want: money, home, food supplies, etc. So I just love it. It literally confirms what's going on in the moment, or what you need to hear to clear and move forward.
Yes,
it's
and
like I call it the Bible to the angels, because you don't have to have any sort of spiritual connection to the other side of the veil or religious kind of viewpoint. You literally can look it up, index it, and you'll read verbatim what they're trying to say to you, and whoever that higher self is, whether it's angels, the universe, your God, whoever that may be, they're connecting with you very specifically.
I love that, because I love the way you said that. It's almost like an unbiased message. Like it's just a message.
Yes.
Like you don't have to you don't have to subscribe to any religion or spirituality. You could just look it up. I love that, Mindie. And we just got a message from, and I'm sorry if I am pronouncing your name wrong, but it's Lenke, Lenke, and
Lenke.
Yeah, Lenke writes, exactly. Numbers led me to realizing my own personal changes as well. Spot on. At first it scared me too. Now I blow kisses to my angels when I see them.
Hi, Lenke. You're such a sweet soul. Thank you for sharing that. It's so true. You're right. It's very unbiased. It's quite private. No number combination is going to be the same. And even if I see 111, Lana, and you see 111 in the same day, they mean different things for our own personal blueprint and our own personal journey.
Yeah. No,
What's going on with me will not be the same that's going on with you. That's how it's literally like, it's so beautiful. It's almost like, wow, really?
Yeah.
But it works.
And, I'm one of those people that, okay, so I have to say that I would say among us, I'm a little bit more skeptical. I would have to say I'm more, and I really have a hard time with the whole signs thing, Mindie. I have to tell you, even though I meditate, I believe, I do like the numerology. I'm really skeptical on seeing messages where I have other friends who are like, no, I got this message there. I saw this symbol, like a bird or a bluebird and see, that's just not me. I'm always really skeptical about seeing something unless it's like maybe more major. So I really like the numerology, and it's not necessarily like I take it like for everything, but if I continually see a number, maybe more than 2 or 3 times, then I'll look it up. But I'm a little bit more skeptical, where I have other friends who may see a number once in a certain moment and they look it up and they're like, yes, this speaks to me. So
yeah, that's a good point. I'll add 2 things regarding that. So one, even though it's like repeating numbers, it doesn't necessarily have to be repeated. So I myself and clients and family and friends say, Spirit will actually tell you. There will be something in your head that says, go look it up. Mm-hmm. And also, if you don't, you will be reminded to go look up that number combination. That happens often. So again, we're all on our own specific journey. So you may go, yeah, I mean, I've seen 000. Yeah, I mean, it's not a couple of times, but nothing like is pulling me to go look it up. And that's okay too. But then there's going to be You keep waking up at certain times. There's going to be more profound, let's call them spiritual nudges. They're going to be nudging you, Lana, and eventually, no matter how skeptical you are, which is just fear of the unknown, which is in all of us for various reasons, part of our journey again, you will be nudged, and then you will be shaken up, and then you will have to look them up because it's part of this bigger combination. But and then the other thing is that you may find that people send you text messages at certain times on your phone, which is pretty profound. Dates of birth, if you're working on the computer at all, it's pretty profound. But for example, my sister, who 9 to 5 is a registered nurse and supervisor and all this other stuff at this company, and she gets date of birth messages like on a daily basis. And so that's really profound, like in her line of work. But also billboards, songs. I mean, not 8675309. You know, we're not looking up that code. But there are songs that have numerics that you're like, why do? And it'll be repeating in your life over time, and then you'll look it up and go, wow. For me and clients I've worked with that are probably more so trying to open up more, they will go, well, I saw 111 and 1111 for like a while, and then I didn't see it, and they're like more concerned. And you just have to know that the awakening code initially is just that. It's getting you aware. It's confirming that you're on to something different in your journey. It doesn't have to be cosmic awesomeness initially, you know. We have to grow. But it's trying to say, hey, human, there's something more for us to connect with you on and kind of open up and awaken. Then the other thing that'll happen is wait till you start getting the combinations of like 4141 or 4001. You start getting very specific, and these are repeated, by the way. That stuff, even though I've been doing this professionally for now going on 3.5, 4 years, and I opened my gifts up many years ago, Lana. Talk about like freaked out. I'm like, wait, what? What? 412? 1212? Oh, every single day. People would contact me, and their phone number would be 412. I should look that up. That was one of the examples I haven't looked at in a while of what that meant at the time. But I was going through that at one period, and I remember this because my brother's birthday is April 12th.
Oh, okay. Well,
so you just never know.
And what is it called, your life path number or your soul number, the one where you add? And so what you do is you add your birthday, and let's say your birthday's January 1st, 1980. So you add 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 0. And whatever that number comes up with, that is your either life path or your soul number. You know, I'm not sure what that's called, but
you know, you're much better at that than I am. Actually, I haven't had a lot of experience in that area, but I love you, and a dear friend Carrie has kind of taught me some things about this, and my sister has done some work in that area as well. But so even your date of birth and adding up numbers, you know, even in your messages, for example, Spirit will say, add up the numbers for this date of birth when someone passed. So not a date of birth, a date of death, right? So you add up February plus the date plus the year, and you add up those numerics. And I'm coming to learn that like 9 is like the completion number, for example. And so that person who took their life on that day, who now has these very profound experiences from the other side of the veil and teachings and stuff from heaven, that was their number. That was, if you added it up, that was the number.
Yeah. And even this year, 2016, is a number 9, the year of completion as well.
Yes. Which is the year of action. We're completing this old energy. Yeah. So just something to add a little humor. So remember the 412 I was talking about? I kept getting it, man, forever. And I finally looked it up. It says the message that the hard work and effort you put towards serving your life's purpose has been acknowledged by the angelic and spiritual realms, and you have manifested your well-earned rewards. Be open to receiving and accepting your good, which may appear in the form of new opportunities, new projects and ideas, and starting afresh. Have faith in yourself and your ideas and your intuition. It keeps going. Lana, you know me on a personal level.
Yes.
That is so true.
Yes.
But do you know how many times they had to beat me over the head at 4:12 a.m., dates of birth, phone numbers, before the psychic could understand? Congratulations. It's not about your brother. It's about you're serving your life's purpose, and you are being acknowledged for that hard work.
Yeah. No, I hear you, because I'll see a number and I'll be like, yeah, whatever. It was, coincidence. I'll see it again second time. It's coincidence. So maybe by about the fourth time, I might get the brick to my head and I'll look it up. But yeah, but Carrie is, another one of my soul sisters. She's really good about looking up the numbers, right? She loves that stuff.
She is. Yeah, well, and the stuff she shared with me at lunch that day was so profound and spot on. You remember she'd done the screenshots and sent it over, and I read through it, and I'm like, wow, like, you can't make this stuff up if you tried. Psychic intuitive, it has nothing to do with me in the fence post. It has everything to do with you opening up in your own way, even if it's private. I tell clients all the time, this is a way to have a connection with the universe that's super private while you're exploring what the spiritual journey means for you.
And I think... I really think, like, you really hit on something, too, is when you first start to... I would even say acknowledge. Like, you've always known that there's something more going on with you. You don't know what it is. You've either been told you're wrong or that you shouldn't believe it. But yeah, I think numerology is a great way to explore that newness, and to maybe I am, more intuitive and not crazy.
Yeah, and even trusting. Yeah. Yes. Oh my God, I love the crazy word. You're not crazy, humans. Like, trust one thing, that you're not alone. I'm going on my like spiritual support role here, where you just have to know that Lana and I and everybody that we work with, we're just like you. At one point, I wasn't just born knowing all this stuff. Like, it's part of the journey, but you're not alone, you're not crazy, and you're just, you're exploring what all of this means for you. And I love it. To me, it's such a private way for me, even as a human, to, like, connect with the universe and get confirmation of what's going on. So I'll flip things just here really quick as well. So the other thing you can do is say to Spirit. Now, I will admit, I said to Spirit, okay, well, if this is really going to happen, show me an 11 on a license plate between here and Costco. Okay? I've done it. I mean, I have. And I'm not suggesting that you be in that frame of space by the time you're trying to challenge your angels, but I'm telling you, they will come through. But you can also ask for signs and symbols through numerology, okay? So show me a sign if you're trying to get an answer. Show me a sign through the numbers. Show me my lucky number. There's just different things. Choose a date for a certain event and show me what date I'm meant to hold my, like, large event on. Or, let me give you another example. A dear friend had contacted me. He was trying to, like, choose dates for, like, a flight as an example. Like, well, I'm thinking this date, but I'm not really sure. And I wrote down 3 dates. And while I was able to help him, because that's what I do, give the date that Spirit said, he could have said to Spirit, okay, here are 3 dates I've written down. Please show me the symbol, which is the number, that's most meant for the highest good for all involved, because the flight was just not for him. It included his family. And you can actually get support from the universe by you asking, which is a whole other podcast. But that's a tip for you to say, if you're trying to make a decision on something, whether it be a kid's birthday party, or how about a vacation, something positive, right? You're like, should we go in February or should we go in March, even though I have to pull the kids out of school? Like, which one should we do? And then ask Spirit for those specific messages, and I'm telling you, you will get the repeated numbers placed in your past.
Yeah. And why not ask? Even if you're on the fence with this, what's the harm in even asking?
Exactly.
You know?
Give it a shot. I'm telling you, try something new today.
Yes.
It's already in your everyday life. We're not telling you to go out and buy certain things or invest in something, but just explore.
Yeah.
And try it out for size. And you're going to be so overwhelmed. It's amazing. A bunch of ladies had commented on my Facebook post where they're like, man, the numbers have been off the charts lately, and it makes me giggle. I'm happy as heck, because you're like, oh my gosh, so many people as part of this journey of sharing have said like, man, these numbers are on point.
Yeah, I've been surprised too, honestly. Awesome. Well, before we move on to our next topic, which is about is a little bit more, I guess, controversial, but about drawing a line in the sand regarding religion. I'd like you to maybe, if you can, maybe let us know if you have any tour dates set or any cities that you have lined up yet, because you're going on tour. And you're doing group readings. You're doing group readings as well that are very affordable. So people can book you while in that city.
Yeah. So I'll give the quick overview, but all of this is going to be found at psychicmediummindyadamos.com, of course. But my kickoff tour, and when I say tour, let me explain that this is also a tour with my husband and my son. We're all going on the road together. And that journey is www.themodernDayMovement.com. So you guys have a couple of resources. But I will be kicking off my USA tour here with you and my amazing, talented sister, who's a psychic medium, intuitive healer as well, and she's a Reiki master. But we're going to be in Virginia Beach January 22nd for a Reiki 1 certification course. We're going to be in Virginia Beach then that entire weekend. So the 23rd and 24th, we're going to be doing group healings, mini readings, and self-love teachings in 2-hour blocks. You can literally come anytime Saturday and Sunday for $20 a person and receive an amazing experience from all three of us and also the other folks in the room. And then I'm going to be going to states initially. I'll be coming to the Philly, Cherry Hill area, Philadelphia. Let's see, that's more like in the New Jersey area. They'll be going to Michigan. We'll be going to Iowa. We'll be touching through the edges of Chicago. And then we're going to be heading down to the Dallas, Texas area and then over to Arizona. So we will publish a full map here soon. But that kind of gives you an idea of where we're kicking off, and that's going to be in April. So kicking off from Virginia now, and then leaving Virginia April 1st to head to some of those other cities. So you can follow all this online or on Facebook. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a story because, I mean, you're getting rid of a lot of stuff that you own, and you and your family are going on this, tour, which is awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we've simplified pretty much everything. Again, that story is themodernDayMovement.com. But you're right. We have, Spirit has really guided us in our hearts to simplify our life beyond what we were already simplifying. Our son Ace is 20 months old, and he's a hoot. And my husband is a photographer and videographer, and he's going to be journaling our story. But we're getting the world back to love through hitting the ground in small towns and cities across the United States. And I will be absolutely offering services face-to-face at pricing that has been guided completely by Spirit. I will, of course, still be doing my phone readings and email readings. Those will not go away. But it's really a kind of a once-in-a-lifetime chance to have me in your backyard doing private and group readings.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. But let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. And actually, this came up last night for us. And it was actually kind of inspired by a couple of the Lightworker groups that we're a part of. And almost in the sense, I wish I could remember specific posts, Mindy, but almost kind of making fun of people who attend church, Christians, and that kind of a thing in a funny ha-ha way. But it not feeling good at, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, I just have to say, and I can share, if you don't mind, kind of this example. And just, I'm going to preface all this with, this is a journey, guys. Mm-hmm. And we're here to talk about real deal shit. Okay? Yeah. This is what's going on behind your closed doors or with your friends and family, or you're seeing stuff through social media venues. And we want to really bring some light to this. This is my experience, and we're just trying to open some discussion here. But it's going to be in love. And there was this, post that really, in the moment, and I've seen this post hundreds of times, but in the moment, in my journey, it said something along the lines of, religion is sitting in church thinking about kayaking. And spirituality is in your kayak thinking and talking to God, thinking about and talking to God. And it struck a chord with my soul, okay? Mm-hmm. Not my human self, not fear, not anything. And that's, like you said, we've both kind of experienced this shift. And my pledge to my journey and helping others be in the love and light, again, we're all human and we're shifting and changing, but I feel like I don't want to incorporate those into, how I'm spreading love, and I don't want to like those posts, and I don't see myself, engaging in that sort of non-love. Because at the end of the day, and I've said this from the moment I opened up my gifts, Lana, with readings from spirit, from angels, before I could even wrap my own head around it, to be honest, I was channeling messages that at the end of the day, it's got to be love, regardless of what your viewpoint is. But I can't support and won't support defining who your higher love is, or who your higher God is, or who your higher self is by making fun of, or in some cases bashing, religion. I consider myself spiritual. But church has served a very great deal of purpose in my life, and Spirit always puts it this way. And then I want to kind of open it up for some of your thoughts, because I know we've had some good conversations about this. Mm-hmm. But Spirit puts it this way. If we talk about raising the vibration of mankind, of the world, and people go to church to hear love and prayer, regardless of how you view the treasuries, the practitioners and the people in servicing, regardless of any of your viewpoints, people go to church to get their vibration raised, which is love. So no matter what's going on, Spirit would say things to me and through my readings, it doesn't matter what's going on with churches, really. That's obviously bigger and quite political when we're talking about that side of things. But just for some human to be in church, they're receiving love. And it's not our job to judge who's sitting in the chairs or in the pews or at the front of the service or in the choir. It doesn't matter any of that. It's that their vibration is being raised, and they're receiving. Prayer works. It raises vibration. Yeah. So that's my kind of feel, dude, on, Yeah. We don't need to compare. We really don't. Spiritual, religious, God, Buddha, no God, atheist, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, and I liked that picture all over the place. And as we talked about it, I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I liked it all over the place, and I liked the post, and you said that, and I was like, that's a great point. And I think it's interesting because, full disclosure, born and raised Catholic, participated in a lot of Catholic activities. And then, of course, when I moved out of the house and went to college and stuff, I kind of left most of that behind. And was very angry about it, actually, because of just things that had gone on and how I felt about things and how I felt women were treated and blah, 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 right? And I would say within the past 10 years, I find myself, forgiving or that part of my life, or just really kind of looking it over and just letting go of those feelings towards people who practice an organized religion and really coming back to respecting people for however they connect to their God. And no matter what that looks like, because my family, they get a lot of peace and comfort and that high vibration from attending church. And I really respect that. Mine just looks different. My practice just looks different. But, in liking that, and that's just one. I mean, there's been several out there that are a little bit like judgmental. And it almost seems kind of funny, because as a quote unquote light worker, right, you're supposed to kind of, not be judgmental, but here it is judgmental.
Yeah, that's exactly, what we have to bring awareness to, and just remind people that, okay, we know that in many belief systems, there is not love. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that, again, me, you, or other humans that are talking about these critical subjects believe in hate, okay? So yes. I'm not saying that if I went to a church and sat in the pew, or I went to a grounds where they're having ceremonial, practices, that if things were said that I disagreed with, that I wouldn't, that to me is not love for me, right? Yeah. That maybe won't raise the vibration for me. But this is in general the hate toward
just each other.
You have to believe in. Yes, just it's about loving each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and light workers, as I'm finding, some of those that are professing awakenings and things within themselves and cosmic awesomeness, right, are literally saying, you're wrong because you're in a church talking to our God. Again, it doesn't mean we agree to the ingredients in any sort of religious recipe or even spiritual recipe. We're saying if there's an ingredient of love there, and there's light, we need to stay the course of that and not spend our time and energy picking apart or posting comments about, this is what real spirituality looks like, or this is what real religion looks like.
That just seems like you're wasting so much. Okay, so instead of going out and helping a homeless shelter or creating a food forest or teaching other people how to, have garden and pots, you're wasting your time saying, no, you're wrong, I'm right. But that's hard because you know what? I get caught up in that too. Like, what do we call it? We're drinking the Kool-Aid. I get it too. And I know. I hope people, understand the light in which we're trying to just kind of open up some of this discussion without getting so far into it, because that feels more debate and that's heavy and it's not love. But I will share that I was reading The Secret. Spirit told me to go find my book off the bookshelf and flip to a couple of pages, and it just really talked about how, I believe it was Mother Teresa who said, I won't go to a war protest, but if you have a peace protest, sign me up. And that just really clicked for me. And then I had this experience with Facebook, and just it has been brewing for a couple of days, which is kind of what happens when Spirit's trying to awaken you in other ways. And it's like, wow, there's so many other things that we can do. So you would even say, even just coming back to opening up, or because, correct me if I'm wrong, Mindie, but when it comes to awakening or opening up or those or shifting or those kinds of things, it almost feels like, and I saw it in Shrek and it makes the most sense to me, is an onion. It's like different, you might undo one layer, get through one layer and feel great about it, but then there's more brewing or more searching until you get through another layer.
Yes, that's exactly what shifts. Is you start to peel back new thought processes and new feelings, and you're shown different things. And then certainly there's other intuitives or healing. It doesn't mean we're all going to have near-death experiences and all of a sudden come to universal love and God. You know what I mean? This is real life stuff. I was sitting at home, Spirit says, go get this book. I get this book and I go, wow, that's a hell of a reminder that no one's perfect. where there's no such thing. Spirit says perfection is a human created word out of fear, which is ego.
Yeah.
And that we're trying to understand, and we're trying to get back to love. And love is not saying that who you worship, if you choose to do that in a sacred space, at your home, in your car, in the bathroom, it doesn't matter, as long as you're opening the love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're being open to the love part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had some experiences with church in my life that now I can reflect back as a more awakened human than I've ever been, and I literally don't know what I would do without that.
Mm-hmm.
Without that experience. I had a friend in Tucson. Part of their service was, ask someone new to come to your church.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just ask. And I'll tell you, he changed my life at that moment for what I needed at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I went every Sunday faithfully, you know. And did I know there was other things going on that probably wasn't awesome? Sure. But that didn't change me going and feeling like the minister was talking just to me for
Mm-hmm.
what I needed at that very moment. And so I just feel like, again, we like to keep things lighthearted, right, Lana?
Yeah.
And sparkles. But I feel like this is something we should all just take a deeper look at and just say, how am I contributing to love?
Yes.
Or how am I contributing to not love?
Yes. And I think it's a
I know I got some work to do.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I really feel like it comes down to a feeling. And as much as I'm, like, I fight the feelings myself and I'm all about the feelings, you know, I think when it comes to, like, knowing if something is funny and whatever, is like, how does it make you feel? Do you feel like you're being vindictive, or does it, you know, I think it comes down to a feeling.
Yeah. You know, there's so many examples of this, but it's that feeling of, you know, and there's a million ways to look at it. So if your legacy was gone tomorrow, I mean, your legacy, you were gone tomorrow and your legacy, what was left, what would that be? And posting, you know, comments that, you know, you're better off practicing communication with God out under the trees is quite judgmental, considering even though there's things that you know that scientifically prove you raise your vibration. I can tell you from own experience, and other humans around the world would tell you that they feel better going to church. Let me give you one more, just a really quick example.
Well, we have 2 minutes left, Miss Mindie. 2
minutes. So just know that people who are grieving, like my mother-in-law, we found that when she reconnected with her church, it literally, like, it probably saved her soul in a lot of ways. She was 64 and lost my father-in-law. And just another example of an experienced soul here on earth who refound some just love and encouragement through the church. And I just think we should consider all ages, all experiences, and all humans as to what that can provide for them in terms of love.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Well, now that we're running out of time, Mindie, can you tell us where to find you one more time?
So again, www.psychicmedium.com. From there you can find all my other social media links. And be sure to also follow us on www.themoderndaymovement.com. And that's the amazing journey of me and my family and our tour across the United States in our RV.
Yes, and you can find me at www.sizehuman.com. We also have an email address on our Facebook page. You want to contact us, send us a message for feedback, comments, love, and sparkles. And we hope that everybody has a good week, and we will talk to you next Monday.
Bye.